This is a Mori protection zone. It doesn't matter if you don't know who he is yet. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to fist fight the universe on his behalf. Let's begin! Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Recently, I read the first few episodes of On the Way to Meet Mom by gomyang, and it is actually one of the cutest, most beautiful, most soul-snatching webtoons I've ever picked up. And okay, I lied. I didn't stop at just a few episodes. I read everything that's out so far. No regrets. But honestly, I knew I wanted to yap about this after episode 1. It's easily one of the best things I've read in a really long time. In this story, our adorable main character Mori is rescued from an abandoned building and is brought to a children's center, kind of like an orphanage. There, kids sometimes receive gifts or letters from patrons, who are basically sponsors. One day, Mori watches his friend reunite with her mom, and something inside him just clicks. He wants that too. If everyone has a mother, maybe his is the one who is sending him presents. So he packs a bag, says goodbye, and sets out to find her. And I thought, oh, sweet, what could possibly go wrong? Next thing I knew, I was watching a baby dodge monsters. Because while the story technically does take place on Earth, it's definitely not Earth as we know it. And yeah, human children like Mori are sometimes sold, or eaten. So his journey isn't exactly straightforward. Thankfully, Mori is picked up by an outlaw named Ryder who reluctantly takes him in. And somewhere along the way, they start caring about each other more than either of them could have expected. Oh my gosh, this webtoon is so perfect. Mori is so cute. The overall vibe is kind of magic meets sci-fi post-apocalypse. Some elements feel familiar, like orphanages or war, whereas others are wildly futuristic. It's a world where magical cloaks and weaponized black holes exist at the same time. All of this is to say, the setting is so cool. It's like a child's bedtime story dropped into a dystopia. A children's book meets movie storyboard meets high-concept art book. I know, it's amazing! There's a constant sense of wonder, especially in how the story uses Mori's perspective. The way his eyes take in the world, it's vast, it's beautiful, and it makes it feel like you're also seeing everything for the first time. In these panels, his eyes literally glow. I loved seeing him see the world. When I first stumbled across this webtoon, thank you to Instagram Reels, I tried to piece everything together from the clips, and I was so wrong. Kind of. But that's what makes it great. You never quite know how a situation will turn out. It can be funny, or sweet, or heartbreakingly serious. The story constantly surprises you, not with plot twists, but with quiet emotional punches. I think this webtoon is amazing for so many reasons, and I really hope I'm doing it justice. For starters, I think it's a little rare to see a story where the main character is a real child, not an adult reincarnated as a toddler, for example. Mori is just a kid, curious, adorable, playful, a little mischievous, and lonely, and we get to experience all of that, raw and unfiltered. At its core, this is a story about a child learning what love and family can mean, not through grand destiny, but through the kindness of the people and creatures, or aliens, that he meets. And while that premise isn't totally new, what does make it special is the world around him. This isn't a story about human connection. It's a story about connection, period. Across different life forms, ages, genders, even concepts of reality. It's a reminder that care can come from anywhere and anyone. It's also incredibly well balanced. There's action, adventure, a little chaos, but that just makes the quiet moments feel even more powerful. There's also stillness and longing, tiny acts of care. This story has so much heart. It lets you sit in Mori's emotions, his joy, his hope, his yearning to be loved. Let's talk a bit about the other characters. There's Ryder with their loud alien mom energy. They absolutely did not sign up to raise a human child, and yet here they are. A little silly, a little grumpy and proud, with a gooey marshmallow center. I love them. And Miria? Miria is a cool big sister and capable mom friend all in one. She's strong, kind, and just a bit nerdy with how seriously she takes child psychology. She's the kind of person who loves through action, and I adore her for it. Which brings me to one of my favorite things about this webtoon. It quietly and thoughtfully asks what motherhood really is. Is it someone who gives birth to you? Someone who feeds you, protects you or gives you gifts, holds you when you cry, or plays with you? This series doesn't give one answer. Instead, it explores all of them. through Mori's eyes, through his journey, through the people who love him. And there's this moment, graffiti scratched across a mountainside that reads, "Protect the children." It's not subtle, but it's perfect, because this whole story, it's a quiet, powerful plea for gentleness, for safety, for children, and for love in all its forms. Okay, speaking of visuals, the art is stunning, jaw-dropping, fantastic. It feels like we're in multiple media at the same time. Sometimes it looks like a painting, other times it leans kind of photorealistic. I've stared at sky panels like I was in a dream. There's also so much variety. Sometimes there are silly, simpler illustrations, and other times you want to frame every panel and hang them up in museums. Mori's character design in particular is so freaking cute. Sometimes he's a round, squishy, cartoon, even cat-like boy. Other times he's drawn with so much emotion that it kinda hurts. That shift is also storytelling. It shows us how Mori's feeling and what the world looks and feels like to him. Again, the eyes in this series, they are unreal. Not just Mori's, but other characters too. Sometimes you can see reflections in them, like tiny emotional mirrors. All of the side characters and creatures in this webtoon are equally amazing. Some are legit nightmare fuel. I love that even characters with minimal plot roles have such cool designs. There are also whole sequences with no dialogue, just visual storytelling. You sit in the moment, you breathe in the art. The webtoon reminded me why comics are such a powerful medium. Some episodes also include sound and music, and it's perfect. It makes the emotional beats land. This is peak webtoon technology, and I love it. There's also a physical edition coming out soon in Korean, and I'm so curious to see how this gorgeous digital artwork translates to print. Like I mentioned, I kind of found this series by accident. I saw a cute kid and a five-eyed alien and was like, okay, bet. But then I peeked at the first episode, and then suddenly I was 6 chapters in and sobbing. And then I was paying coins like it was a moral obligation. Every chapter makes me fall even harder for the story, for the art, for all of the characters. I'll finish one and think, wow, this was the most beautiful thing I've ever read. And then the next chapter proves me wrong. As you probably guessed, I am on an emotional roller coaster. I laugh, I cry, I grin like an idiot. But honestly, I love when a series ruins my life. Mori is so precious. He's worth it. I think if you love The Little Prince, soft Ghibli films, found family, or just stories with a cute little kid and a terrifying world that still feels hopeful, you're gonna love this. Tender, funny, soul-wrecking in the kindest way, and filled with lots of wonder. Overall, I am so glad I started this webtoon. The world building is rich, the visuals are breathtaking, and the characters, especially Mori, just live in my head rent-free now. I've already spent coins, I'll probably spend more. No regrets, protect Mori at all costs. Also, the webtoon just wrapped up in Korea. There are only 31 episodes, and we're already most of the way through in English. So I am not ready for the emotional crater this series will leave behind once it's over. I want to commend the author for telling a story that knows when to end, but I would also easily read hundreds of chapters about Mori. Just saying. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I mentioned last week, I'm doing a few test runs to figure out what kind of recommendation format works best for me. Let me know. Do you prefer deep dives into one series, like this video, or themed roundups like the Old Man Yaoi one? Were the categories here helpful, or were they confusing? If you've already read On the Way to Meet Mom, I want to know, what were your favorite scenes? Also, what is your emotional damage rating? And if you haven't, go read episode 1 and tell me how long it took before you were ready to adopt this child. As always, may you be safe, happy, healthy, and loved, just like Mori. Bye for now.